Hello friend, welcome in the 30 days of code in HackerRank. So today is the day 26 and today we solve the problem about nested logic. So let's go to the problem. So today's problem is about the return fine of a book. So the fine calculated by this following instruction. So if the book is returned on or before the expected return date, no fine will be charged. That means fine equal to 0. But if you delay some time or return after some days of the return date of the book, then you have to pay some fine, and this fine is calculated by 15 into the number of day you late. And then if you return this book after some month, then this fine calculated by 500 into the number of month late. And if you return this book after a year, then the fine is fixed, which is 10,000. So here is the input format. The first line contains three space separated integers. One is day, month and year. And then second line also contains day, month, year format. But the first line date is the actual return date and the second line date is the expected to return. That means the date which you return the book actually, this is the first line, and the expected return date of the book is in the second line, and date is between the 1 and 31, and month is 1 to 12, and year is between 1 and 3000. And here output format print a single integer denoting the library fine for the book received as input. And then here is a sample input like 9th June of 2015, it is the actual return date, and 6th June of 2015 is the expected return date. That means the book is returned after 3 days of expected return date. So that's why 3 into 15, 45 is print on the output screen. So I think you understand how to calculate this fine and simply print in the output screen. So basically we solve this problem using C and C++, but I first write this solution in C++. So without delay I simply start to writing my solution. So first I declare three variables. One is the actual date, which is AD, and actual month AM, and actual year AY, and then take the input from user for AD, AM and AY, and after that I simply declare another three variable, which is ED expected date, EM expected month and EY expected year. Then I simply take input from user for ED, EM and EY. So the input part is done, friend, and after that you have to make some logic to calculate this fine. So I simply start by comparing the year, which is the actual year and the expected year. If they are equal, that means you have to check this month. So that's why I simply write if AY equal to UI, and if it is true, then we write the code for inside of this if condition. But I first write else condition, because when the actual year and expected year is not equal, then two type of situation is present: AY is greater than UI and UI is greater than AY. So first I write if AY is greater than EY, so that means actual year is greater than EY, that means expected year. So in this case you have to pay the fine, which is fixed. It is the 10,000 So that's why you have to print 10,000. So I write cout and 10,000 and endl. And another condition is else, that means the ui is greater than ay. So that means you return the book before 1 year of the expected date. So that's why you have not to pay any charge. That's why I print cout 0 because the fine is 0 and then endl. Okay, this else condition is done. So I simply go to this if condition, and inside of if condition, when the 2 year, that means actual year and expected year is same, then you have to check the actual month or expected month. If the 2 month is same, then we have to check the date, but I simply write the else condition first. So in else condition, two situations are present. One is if the actual month is greater than expected month. So for this case, you have to pay some fine. So I simply calculate the fine by declare a variable fine, and fine equal to 500 into am minus em. So this is the number of month you let to return this book. But if em is greater than am, for this case you have not to pay any fine. So I write cout and 0 and endl. Because you return the book 1 month before the expected date, and here I forgot to print this fine on the output screen. So I write cout and then fine and then endl. Okay friend, this else condition is also done. So I simply complete this if condition. So inside of if condition, I check if actual date equal to expected date or not. If the two dates are same, then you have not to pay any charge, because you simply return the book on the day of expected date. So that means I simply write cout and print 0 on the output screen, and if the date is not same, then the else condition is again, this else condition is also contain two situation. One is if the AD, that means actual date, is greater than ED, expected date, then you have to calculate the fine. So that's why again I simply declare the fine variable, and fine variable equal to 15 into AD minus ED. That means it simply calculate the number of date you let, and then I simply print the fine in the output screen. So okay, and the else condition, that means the ed is greater than ad. So that means you simply return the book someday before the expected date. So that's why you simply print 0, because you have not to pay any fine. So that's why we print 0 and endl. So my code is done. So I simply click run code button to check. So here shows that the sample test case 0 is passed. So I submit my code, and yeah friend, all the test cases are passed. So this is a solution for C++ for this problem. But if you want to write this solution in C language, then you have to change some syntax in this code. So I show you. I copy this main function and then select the C language, and I simply select main and paste the code which I written for C++, and then I make the editor font bigger. So at first you have change this C in, because for C language it is the scanf. So for scanf you simply write %d, %d and %d for taking the input for three variable, and first for the a, d actual date, and then AM actual month, and then the AY, this is the actual year. So I simply copy this and paste here, but for this you change this ED, EM and EY. So the input part is done, friend. So now I simply change this cout to printf. So first I write printf 0, and here is you have to print the fine. So that's why I write printf %d and then fine. Okay, so done, friend, this printf. So again I simply change this to printf. This time I print 0. Okay, and here also you have to print the fine. So that's why I copy this code, Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and for this I have to write and print 0 on the output screen, and for this I have to print 10,000 on the output screen, and finally you change this into printf and print 0. Okay, so now I simply check by clicking the run code button. Okay, sample test case 0 is passed, so I submit my code. So all the test cases are passed. So I think you understand this problem very well, and if you have any doubt about this problem, please go to the comment section and comment me. I definitely try to solve your doubt. So this is for the day 26. See you in the next video. Thank you, friend. Goodbye.